mitumba, nakupenda mitumba. Mitumba, mitumba, you're here to stay. Mitumba, mitumba, nakupenda mitumba. Mitumba, mitumba, you're here to stay.
Actually, I believe that the new regulations, they will, instead of promoting circular economy, they will hinder circular economy. Circular economy has existed for many decades in the youth clothing business, and it has largely been developed by people in Africa. And those people, they know what they are doing, they know their trade, and they are actually, you can say, like the unsung heroes of the circular economy and the youth textile trade. The classification of unsorted second-hand clothes as textile waste, it is actually not very helpful for the circular economy because it hinders the transportation and the exportation of unsorted second-hand clothes. So now there's even a new suggestion from the environmental ministers of Sweden, Denmark and France to put sorted second-hand clothes under the Basel Convention, and that would in fact almost ban the exportation of second-hand clothes to Africa. And that would mean that lots of people, millions of people actually, would lose their livelihoods, and millions of people would lose the possibility to buy good and affordable clothing.
The policy makers in French, the Denmark people and the Sweden, they need to listen. If they stop it, how will people survive? I think people will die. Some children will not have education. Some people will not have houses to live in because you have to pay rent. And some people will even commit suicide because when life becomes so unbearable, not many people are strong. So the people sitting on those chairs trying to make policies, I want to tell them, when they are talking about banning the exportation, they should think about the over 2 million people who are in this trade, and over many millions in other countries. They should think about them. What is their plan B? Where do you want them to go? In Africa, if you don't have a job, you are poor. It's like the end of you. The life of poverty will be eating you.
The good thing about Mitumba is that you can start from something small and grow from something big, because there's no amount that you can start with. The little amount that you have can change your life, because there are many people here who came, even they are dropped out of school, but there are people in the society right now because of Mitumba.
I started up my business at 3,000 Kenya shillings. Today I'm an importer. I import clothes. I have imported from Canada, US, Europe, England. I have imported from all those countries. And this is where lives are changed. The people you see are not just people without a vision. They are people with the families, they are people with children, they are people trying to change the course of their life. So many of them have come from very humble background. But through this trade, they are able to generate income for their children, for their families, and for their households.
Mitumba, mitumba, nakupenda mitumba. Mitumba, mitumba, you're here to stay. Mitumba, mitumba, nakupenda mitumba. Mitumba, mitumba, you're here to stay. Mitumba, they try to take you away, but mitumba, you're here to stay. Mitumba, they try to take you away, but Mitumba, you're here to stay. Mitumba walijaribu kukumaliza, lakini Mitumba uko hapa milele. Mitumba walijaribu kukumaliza, lakini Mitumba uko hapa milele. Mitumba, Mitumba, nakupenda Mitumba. Mitumba, Mitumba, you're here to stay. Mitumba, Mitumba, nakupenda Mitumba. Mitumba, Mitumba, you're here to stay.
We started to work in Lithuania in 1998. There we developed a very good concept for how to run second-hand shops, and this concept we have been able to use also in many other countries, first in Estonia, then in Latvia, then in Ukraine, and now we are active in 15 countries. We have 300 shops and we have 4 sorting centers. So every year we have managed to grow a little bit. If the clothes were to be donated, that would simply not be possible for economical reasons. But also I think it is more dignified for people if they can buy things. Not expensive, but they can buy at a price which they can afford. You know, that gives people a feeling of dignity. And I'm afraid that if you take away the second-hand clothes, you don't just deprive people of the right to buy clothes, but also of their dignity in a way.
Our house was here, this place. I will try to go in. I don't think they have anybody to open the gate. You see where she's standing? That was my house. This is where we lived. It was me, my dad and my mom, and we were 3. No, we were 4. The other one was born on the other side, but 4 kids here in these 2 rooms. Before it was 1 room with 3 children. There is no electricity, no water, no electricity. The bathrooms were there, very dirty. The toilets, very dirty. Very, very dirty. It's something, if I dream today with this place, I feel sad. Because I remember the kind of life that we used to have. But this is where I was brought up. This is where I grew up. There were days we didn't have food. Something like television for us is not a go zone for us. Yeah, no, I'm not sad. I'm just going down the memory lane. Yeah. Yeah, I've not been here for so many years, and seeing this place is quite shocking. It's like now I can see where I have come from. When I started my business, the small business that I was selling socks, I did not have an alternative. That was my life. It was my everything that was gonna change my story. And I would also want to say to people who are trying to ban the exportation of Mitumba into Africa, Mitumba is not a luxury to us. It is our livelihood. It means everything to us. It is not something we can discard. I hear people talking about landfills, mountain of textile. Where? How can we have mountain of textile when we have so many people who are poor, so many people who have lack, so many people who have nothing? How can we talk about those mountains? Where are the mountains? If there was a mountain of textile somewhere, it would be a booming business for somebody. So let's not talk about something that is not there. We have come from far, and this trade has helped me to change my story and to change my life.
Takataka Solutions is an integrated waste management and recycling company. So in case you're wondering, Takataka means waste in Kiswahili. So what we do is that we manage waste across the whole value chain. So we collect waste from waste producers, commercial, residential, industrial. We then take the waste to our sorting site where it's sorted fairly manual on conveyor belts into multiple fractions. Then the organic waste we're composting. The plastics, just what you can see behind me, we're processing, we're washing and then processing into plastic pallets that go back to plastic manufacturers. And then we also buy back plastics and other waste from waste pickers at dump sites. So we have a pretty kind of inclusive view and of what's going on across the waste value chain, because we're active in almost every part of it. The majority of textile waste we get, which is around 1% of our total waste stream, it's what people have worn and after multiple cycles of wearing are throwing away, right? And that kind of textile waste you would have anywhere in the world, right? With regards to imported Mitumba or secondhand textiles, I think from our point of view, that waste stream is almost negligible because the vast majority, 98% plus of the imported textiles are for reselling and reuse. So that's waste we're not getting directly. We might get it a few years later once those textiles have been worn and discarded, but not at the point of importing.
There's a lot of hope here because a lot of people have moved from where they were, and when you can see right them, they have plots, they have built their houses, they are now even bringing container from carrying the bales. So we still have hope here in Mitumba.
I think that now, with the new restrictions of the European Union, a lot of this is actually at risk. You can take, for example, Swedish organization, which is one of our biggest suppliers. They are called Humana. They are collecting and renovating hospital equipment. Their source of income is by collecting second-hand clothes. And now, with the new restrictions, their costs have gone up so much so that they are not able to make a profit from this anymore. The reason for this are those restrictions, but those restrictions, they are not sensible. They don't bring any extra benefit. They don't do anything for the environment. They don't do anything for anything. But now these new regulations, actually this human bridge, they stand to lose what they have.
The whole idea with Human Bridge is to support other countries in need with good hospital equipment that the Swedish hospitals don't want to use anymore. It means we can collect it, we can repair it, or we can clean it, and then we can use it again in other countries. And that is what our heart beats for. And the textile collection and the textile sales that we are doing, it's our main source of income. We had one situation that one truck or one trailer was stopped and inspected by the authorities here in Sweden, and they found one broken shoe, and then they classified all the shipment as household waste or municipal waste. And they forced us to send it for incineration, for energy recovery. And that's very, very bad, and it's very sad for Human Bridge, for our organization, but also for the people who donated the clothes to us. And of course also for the environment. We pre-sort the clothes and textiles because of a lot of new rules and regulations from the EU. And that means that we get less money to our aid projects and to our hospital equipment. Less money from the textile business will means less hospital-related shipments that we're doing or projects that we are sending to. And it's a danger or a risk for people's life.
Utan vår hjälp så skulle det här sjukhuset få leva med gammal utrustning som kanske är undermålig och som inte fungerar fullt ut. Skulle det vara så att vi inte klarar vår finansiering så blir det ju sjukhus som just det vi står på nu som drabbas i förlängningen. Därför att vi kommer inte att kunna leverera material och utrustning. De har inga andra källor som samarbetar med dem och som kan stötta dem. Inte minst nu i krigstider så är det väldigt tufft för dem. Så bara just det här sjukhuset blir det en smärre katastrof för.
We are producing food packages which are handed out to vulnerable people or institutions. That is our idea, to through this business of second-hand clothes, create funds to use for social projects. So that is the idea and that is the reason why we exist.
Багато. Пенсія в мене 4 тисячі, навіть немає. І це дуже багато допомагає.
We import the clothes from different countries, and these countries are Oman, Turkey, and Lithuania. We have our sorting centers there. So these clothes come here, and in a week we bring in approximately 200 tons. And out of these 200 tons, we have 100 tons for wholesale shops and 100 tons to our own retail shops.
Kenya is importing about 185,000 tons of clothing per year, of second-hand clothing. And about 2% of that, according to the surveys, is waste, which are unusable clothes. There has been a lot of talk about mountains of textile waste in Africa, but those mountains, they have not been found. Actually, what has been filmed, it is the normal dump sites, which contain very little clothing, actually only like 1%. When, of course, any product, sooner or later, when it's used enough, it will become waste. And that is also the case for second-hand clothes, but it's also the case for new clothes. So then you would ban the export of new clothes, yes, the export of second-hand clothes, and actually also production of new clothes, because that will also be waste in the end.
Think Twice is a retail operation that deals with the second-hand clothes. Think Twice operates a business model that targets a wide spectrum of customers. In terms of the geographical location, we have 36 shops spread across in different counties in Kenya. And our operation model that incorporates a 2-week cycle where we have a wide price range that gives a different price proposition for the customers. Where we start with a high-end or top quality clothing, and then as the customer chooses, the prices reduces depending on the customer preference and the quality. And after 2 weeks, then we clear off, and then we bring in new consignment, and we operate like that in all our 35 shops. In 2-week cycle, every shop is able to sell 5,000 kilos. So we're selling more than 100 tons every week.
We are working with second-hand clothes, so we are buying original clothes, like clothes which are not sorting. We are sorting the clothes and we are selling the clothes. So we have sorting centers. We have one in Lithuania, that is the biggest one. We have one in Estonia. We have one in Turkey, and we have one in Oman.
Mitumba, mitumba, nakupenda mitumba. Mitumba, mitumba, you're here to stay. Mitumba, mitumba, nakupenda mitumba. Mitumba, mitumba, you're here to stay. Mitumba, mitumba, nakupenda mitumba. Mitumba, mitumba, you're here to stay.
And in those centers, we are sorting the clothes in different fractions and preparing them to be for reuse.
They like so much.
So that's why we have very thorough sorting process and lots of quality controls, and we train the sorters well.
Okay. This is nice. Yes, and this is nice for young people. It's very nice. When we find some mistakes in the bags, we call the sorters and show the mistakes to them. It can be old-fashioned, it can be with stains, it can be vintage category. For example, this I saw here some stains. So I have to explain this example to them.
Here we are sorting 300 tons of second-hand clothes and shoes per week with 233 employees in different more than 400 categories. And then it's gone to the fine sorting. So what the fine sorters sorting, the collectors bringing to the packing department, and our packing department quite big. And there we resort, we recheck all the clothes, all the shop clothes, I can say 100%. And we fold them nicely and pack them nicely. Then we label them. We also pack them in transparent bags that the customers can see inside the bag, nicely folded from each color, colorful and nice cloth bag. We never export any garbage to Africa. Our customers like to buy also nice and reusable clothes in Africa, so it's not possible. And we have the chance here in Turkey that we can use our textile waste for energy burning. So we don't need such a thing, to export any garbage to Africa. They are all nice and reusable items.
But then the money that we have earned, that money we are using for social projects. For instance, here in Kenya, we are supporting an organization which works with vulnerable children. They work in the slum with children, and they have a children's home. So that is one way that we use the money.
We are so happy that we can provide the food for the children, because some of them in the morning go to school without having taken breakfast, and they're also not sure of the evening supper. So when they take this food, it means all the world to them. They are living in a very poor place, the parents are not able to give the meals. So they have to think of what to do. And most of the time they are thinking of how to pay the rent where the kids are going to stay. So food becomes an added advantage. For most of them, this is the only meal that they have. But also we have something special for them. We have a program that is done in the computer lab that Think Twice has helped us in expanding. And they are being taught on how to improve their language. Other than that, they are doing life skills in the classes, because life skills is very important. If they do not do the life skills, they will not be able to navigate whatever is happening around them. So life skills for us is very important. Every kid deserves to be taken care of. Every family deserves somebody who can tell them, it is okay. We can make this step with you. We'll be there for you. That is what they need, because some of them have given up. If they don't get people that can walk with them, they'll think that that is all that life has for them. But when they see people like Maisha Mema, who then get support from people like Think Twice, then you can imagine all the difference that you're making in the families.
For millions, you create a livelihood. Mitumba, you are really good. For millions, you create a livelihood. Mitumba, you are really good. Ushuru unalipa mamilioni. Mitumba, you are really